From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. May 23rd marked the start of summer classes for Troy University. And for some people, spending their summer inside a classroom may not be quite what they had in mind for a summer vacation. Ryan Renfro hit the campus to find out the motivation behind why students decide to take summer classes.
For most people, summer means time away from school, time spent with family and friends back home. But for some Trojans, the summer means more time spent in the classroom. And now that the summer semester has arrived, students explain why they decided to jump back into their studies.
I'm an exchange student. I need to take class for transferring credits to Chinese university. That's why I need to take summer class to catch up.
11 years ago, I got my nursing, and now I just wanted to hopefully teach nursing. So I decided to go and get an elevated education so that I could do the teaching part of it.
Walking around campus, you never really know who you're going to run into. And as for me, well, I found a trio of Trojans new to Troy's campus. A few athletes adjusting to college life both on and off the gridiron.
Playing football, I have teammates that I can talk to, hang out with whenever I need someone to hang out with.
It's crazy coming in because we just graduated high school. It's like trying to get used to it without your family, but I mean, it's a learning process, and with your teammates around, you get used to it real fast.
Been looking forward to it all year, knowing that I'm coming here and getting used to the adjustment. It's been pretty fun though so far.
Now that summer has arrived, temperatures will rise and making the decision to enjoy the outdoors becomes a little more difficult when you factor in the heat. But a newly reopened attraction may have residents jumping and splashing into the outdoors. Samantha Charles has the details.
After 3 years of renovations and over $1.5 million spent on reconstruction, the Pike County Lake is open for business.
We partnered with the state fisheries to come up with a plan to make the lake more utilized. So we feel like what we've done here with the new construction, restocking the lake, improving the dam, and everything else that we've done, we feel like this is going to be a great location for people to come out, not only fish, but enjoy the outdoors.
Because the lake is completely self-funded, there is a small cost for admission.
We're self-funded, and how we operate separate from parks, and really there's as long as license sales, people are buying fishing license, and we have money to operate.
The state does charge to fish on state waters, and that charge will apply here. But that's the only cost associated with it. And then you do have to have a fishing license if you're above 16 or under 65.
Mayor Reeves is excited for the future of the lake and says all are welcome.
I think it gives everyone in the community an opportunity to get outside and enjoy the outdoors. It gives them a place to come and fish at a very reasonable price, and it just adds to the quality of life. It gives a lot of people now are looking for ways to get outdoors, to move around, to enjoy the outdoors, and this is a prime location for them to do that.
So, if you're looking for a place to go for your next family outing, look no further than the Pike County Lake. Samantha Charles, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Miss Alabama pageant is June 8th in Birmingham, and one of the young women competing for the crown will be Miss Troy University, Leah Livingston. Last week, Troy University held a send-off ceremony to wish Livingston good luck in the upcoming competition. Samantha Charles has the details.
Troy University student and Miss Troy, Leah Livingston, will be competing in the upcoming Miss Alabama pageant in Birmingham later this summer. However, this afternoon in Hawkins Hall, a send-off reception was held in her honor.
I've never done anything like this before, but all the preparation, it's not for nothing. So they want you to come in prepared to take on the next title if they think that you're the best person suited for it. So I would definitely say that I'm ready to compete in Miss America. I would hope. That's every girl's dream, I know.
After months of practice for the multiple categories, including swimsuit, evening gown, talent, interview and the onstage question, Livingston says she feels prepared for the upcoming pageant.
Preparation is very broad when it comes to Miss Alabama. So there's eating right and working out for swimsuit, and then there's alterations of all different kinds for evening gowns and all the different types of wardrobe that you need. Then there's lots of vocal practice for me because I am singing for my talent. I'm actually singing God Bless America, but just everything under the sun. There's so many different categories, and preparation is a lot. It's really heavy duty, but it's all worth it because I'm really, really excited for this experience.
Even though she hopes to bring home the crown, Livingston says winning isn't everything.
Honestly, whatever happens, I'm going to be so happy and excited because this is a milestone for me. I never imagined that I would be in this position.
Livingston says none of this would have been possible without the help and support of her family, friends, and pageant directors. Samantha Charles, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Troy Athletics kicked off its annual Trojan Tour this week to wrap up the past year and look ahead to the upcoming Trojan sports. Ryan Renfro hit the first stop of the tour in the Trojan Towers.
Members of Troy Athletics and fans of Trojan sports gather in the Stadium Towers this week to kick off the annual Trojan Tour. The tour will make its way down into Florida over the next few weeks as it officially wraps up the 2015-2016 seasons. Director of Athletics Jeremy McClain explains what the Trojan Tour brings to the table and the importance of interaction between fans and coaches.
It's a chance for us to share with them, get with them one-on-one. You know, it's really difficult for us to do that with our coaches during the year. And so this is a good opportunity early summer to do that before we kind of get it cranked up for the next year.
Trojans in attendance say there's no better place to kick off the Trojan Tour than right here at home. And now that the tour is underway, Trojan Athletics and fans prepare for the upcoming year. And trust me when I say this, there is no shortage of excitement.
This is where we take the South by storm and tour some major cities in the South and let the fans of the different areas know what Troy University is all about.
I've been here 9 months now, and I'm more excited today than I was on day one. I think just seeing where we're at, having a really good sense after 9 months of where we're at. We got a lot of work to do, but really excited about what the future holds.
One Trojan entering his second year as head coach shares what the kickoff of the Trojan Tour means to him.
For me, it's kind of the wake up that football season's almost here. It's upon us. We're less than 100 days out from our first home football game.
The next stop for the tour will be next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. at the Vulcan Park and Museum in Birmingham, Alabama. Ryan Renfro, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Over 300 high school juniors were on Troy's campus over the weekend, learning lessons in leadership at the annual Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Conference. Deidre Green has the details.
While most high school students were out relaxing and enjoying their Memorial Day weekend, these high school sophomores were learning a thing or two about how to take their leadership skills to the next level.
It's a leadership conference for high school sophomores, soon to be high school juniors. Come in for a 3-day conference here at Troy University, learn a little bit more about leadership, who they are as a leader, how they can influence their spheres of influence, and then also how they can impact society as well.
Although there are fun moments like these, Hobie has a few different activities set up to help mold these students into our future leaders.
They do a lot of different personality profiles. They'll do some leadership activities on hands-on leadership activities where they work with groups and things of that sort. And then one of the things we'll be doing this afternoon is a service project where we'll be putting some fleece blankets together for those in need.
One high school student explains why she thinks all high school students should be able to experience the Hobie program.
I think it's very educational, and also it grows and develops our skills as leaders.
Hobie International has held conferences throughout the 50 states and internationally since 1958. Deidre Green, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Troy University is known for its student population from across the globe, but there's one student that's become well known for his quick trip around the world. Samantha Charles had the chance to sit down with Troy student and Amazing Race contestant Cole Brant to talk about his time in the spotlight.
Troy University freshman Cole Brant added reality show contestant to his already packed media resume as he and his mother Sherry finished in second place on the latest season of the CBS show The Amazing Race. LeBrant has over 1 million followers on Vine and says he was excited to be included in a season of internet celebrity contestants.
Most social media people, especially whenever I saw who they casted, they live out in LA or New York and they're doing big time things and really pursuing that fame career. So it was really nice to be considered, just since I'm just an Alabama kid going to a university here at Troy University. So yeah, it felt awesome.
Brant first gained fame through his Vine videos with two of his high school friends that referred to themselves as dim white boys. The videos made them worldwide celebrities. However, the group went their separate ways after high school, but Brant kept churning out the videos and remained popular.
I kept on making the videos myself with my family members, so it just came to a point to where it was like, dim white boys, you know, we came up with a name as a joke, but now we're actually getting like business things and this and that, and it's not really politically correct, and some people don't really like the name, so I think I could market my name a lot better. So I think it was last summer that we kind of came up with an agreement to change it.
Brant says that participating in the Amazing Race was a great experience with some pretty intense moments, but getting to travel the world with his mom was one of the best parts.
My mom and I, we get along very well. We got along very well before the race. She's a very goofy lady. She's not uptight. So I knew that it wasn't going to be like she was like my mom throughout the race. It wasn't like she was like trying to mom me over everything. So it was almost like we, you know, had a mutual agreement about like, I'm better at some things, you're better at other things. We're not going in this as a mother-son, but just kind of like we're teammates and we're going to do our best to win this. So we just wanted to have fun, and I feel like that's what we did, not fight, and go as far as we could.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we meet the artists responsible for the work currently on display at Troy's Johnson Center for the Arts. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I think it goes around.
Let's go. We gotta get you in practice.
And it's set.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
Visitors to Troy's Johnson Center for the Arts will have a chance to get face-to-face with the portraits of award-winning artist Lindy Brugging. The exhibit began on May 12th and will run all the way to June 18th. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
The Johnson Center for the Arts is currently featuring the portraits and landscapes of South Alabama artist Lindy Brugging. The exhibit is called Faces and Spaces and is being held in the upper gallery of the center. Development coordinator Wiley White says the paintings are fascinating reflections of their subjects.
You see the personality of the people that she represents, and she paints beautifully.
White also says that Brugging's work is diverse, ranging from depictions of nature to people in their day-to-day lives.
There's a young boy over here against a black background. He just glows. His little face just glows. And there's a Madonna and child in the other room. There are horses in the back room and the small landscapes. I mean, if you want to see it, it's here.
In addition to displaying her artwork, the Johnson Center will also be holding a reception for Brugging and Chris Beck, the center's other featured artist.
Lindy Brugging will be walking through the gallery from about 7:30 to 8 with a group. You're welcome to come in and walk through with her and ask her questions about her portraits and hear her talk about her work. And it's going to be like a walk and talk. It's going to be very casual.
White says she is thrilled with the new shows and wants people to come and see some new faces. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy TrojanVision News.
And while portraits fill the upper gallery of the Johnson Center for the Arts, the lower gallery is occupied by steel art made by Troy native Chris Beck. Nathaniel Rodriguez gives us a look at the exhibit called Ransomed Rust, Philosophy of Steel.
The Johnson Center for the Arts is featuring the artwork of a Troy-born artist in its lower level. Ransom Rust, A Philosophy in Steel, is a collection of metalwork created by Chris Beck, which is made up of steel that has been welded and painted into the forms of clothing as well as abstract art. Development coordinator Wiley White says she was amazed by the realistic quality of the pieces.
He's got a box that looks like a shoebox, and sitting on top of that box is a guy's sneaker, black high-top sneaker with the laces, and you look like you can pick it up and put it on. I mean, it's absolutely fabulous.
White also said Beck was a pleasure to work with during the setup of the exhibit.
It was the most fun experience to help him hang it and to see how thrilled he was when it all got hung, because he loved the space, for one thing. He loved how the work looked on these brick walls.
But featuring Beck's work is not just beneficial to him, it also promotes the philosophy of the Johnson Center.
The Johnson Center, we're all about bringing art and exposing our community and our state to all varieties of art. And so we're thrilled every time we get an exhibit of a different type of media.
Beck will be present during Thursday evening's reception with fellow artist Lindy Brugging, where he will discuss the meaning of his artwork. White encourages people to meet the artist.
Please, I hope nobody will miss this opportunity. We're so thrilled with these artists.
And it was last Thursday when art lovers had the chance to hear directly from the artists responsible for those two exhibits on display in the Johnson Center. Jalen Bivens has the details.
Thursday night, the Johnson Center held an art reception and lecture for the public to meet and view artists Chris Beck and Lindsey Berging's art.
It all started with an ironing board. I had been working with metal before I started doing some of the closing stuff, and I found this ironing board, didn't know quite what to do with it. I thought it'd really be cool to try to make a shirt to put on it like it was being ironed.
Beck says that out of all the sculptures that he's done, he has two favorites, a Converse sneaker and a shirt he calls Sherman.
So what I love about Sherman is I use rusty roofing off of barns, and I just feel like you can actually see the guy there. There's motion and there's movement, even though it's a very hard and rigid material.
While Beck's inspiration was more material, Berging says hers was more spiritual.
When I was about 40, I felt like God spoke to me and said, I've given you a gift and you've wasted it. So at that time, I started painting.
Though there were many people at the reception, there was one particular painting that meant a lot to a young man.
The one behind me of Junior Sullivan, he was my grandfather. He passed away 5 years ago, and it was after the summer it snowed.
Berging's exhibit will run through June 18th, and Beck's work will be on display until June 26th. Jalen Bivens, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, there's some offerings from our friends at Troy Public Radio. So don't touch that dial.
If a child with autism is missing, immediately search places that pose the most danger, such as nearby water and busy streets. For more ways to help, visit missingkids.com/aware.
Through the years, trends and styles may come and go, but the important things remain the same. Generation after generation, consistently there, creating moments and memories to last a lifetime. Like a true friend, the national parks have always been there for you, and now you can be there for them. Support the National Park Foundation and help protect America's treasured places.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Each week, we take some time to hear some of the work done by our broadcast partners at Troy Public Radio. As we do each week, we'll get another sample of Talk of Troy, the student-produced newscast of Troy Public Radio. Now let's take a listen.
It's the Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University. I'm Sharnique McEachern. Troy University's commitment to education for the armed forces was recently recognized by the Council of College and Military Educators, and Nishay Doremus has the story.
Jeff Cropsey, the previous president of CCME, says that this year Troy University stood out among its peers.
Troy University was a best example of an institution that has a long history of service to military.
Benefits for active duty soldiers, reservists, and their families include a 50% cut in tuition.
To have a special military rate for the active duty force and for their families certainly does a lot to encourage individuals.
For more information about the CCME Award and the Military Tuition Scholarship, visit troy.edu/news. For the Talk of Troy, I'm Nashady Ramus.
Right now, around 150 planetarium professionals are in Montgomery for their annual conference. And as we learned this week, they're in Alabama's capital to discuss something you don't see very often.
Lunar eclipses are relatively rare, but to have a total solar eclipse that's visible from all of North America, it is a unique event.
That's W.A. Gale Planetarium Director Rick Evans, who is excited about the conference keynote speaker, former NASA astrophysicist Fred Espenak.
He is known worldwide as Mr. Eclipse.
More information about the conference Eclipsed by No Other and the W.A. Gale Planetarium is at troy.edu/news. I'm Sharnique McEachern, and you've been listening to The Talk of Troy, a production of Troy Public Radio.
Throughout the week, Troy Public Radio can be heard on 89.9 in Troy and Montgomery, 88.7 in Dothan, and 91.7 in Phoenix City. Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll learn more about Trojan Athletics Trojan Tour 2016. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Every day, we go about our lives driven by routine. Our vision is clouded by the very normalcy we take for granted. Countless victims of human trafficking walk among us, invisible, until now. The Blue Campaign provides a unified voice for those who combat human trafficking. Whether it's forced labor, domestic servitude, or the sex trade, it's time to open our eyes. Learn what you can do to help by visiting dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
This is DeKeys. She has her bachelor's degree from Troy University and is now pursuing her master's online to grow her career. Soon, she'll have a prestigious graduate degree from Troy, a proud public university that's been helping students achieve their career goals since 1887. Do what you love and be great at it. That's the warrior spirit. Learn more at troy.edu/workingwarrior.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
As we mentioned earlier, the Trojan Athletic Department is hitting the road for the annual Trojan Tour. We'll find out what's on tap for this year's tour in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we're talking about Trojan Tour 2016 and how the Trojan Nation can find out a little about Trojan Athletics. They're taking it on the road. My guest today is Hannah Mason with the Troy Athletic Department, helping publicize Trojan Athletics and getting some people involved with the program across the state and actually into Florida as well. So tell us a little about Trojan Tour 2016. What is Trojan Tour?
Trojan Tour is an event that we take our coaches and athletic staff on the road to our season ticket areas and where alumni are throughout the state and into the Panhandle.
And now you bring the staff out there, but what's kind of the purpose of bringing all of these people to the individual cities rather than having them come to Troy to see all these people?
Yes, so the areas that we have Trojan Tour, it's a good fan base. Season ticket holders are there, so we take our coaches to them. You know, we kind of get them excited for football season, get them excited for upcoming other seasons as well too, and just we also have alumni there that help.
To get all that involved. Now, when someone comes to one of these events, they're spread out over a 2-week period, right? So tell us, I guess, when the dates are, the kind of window we're talking about the Trojan Tours taking place here.
Yes, so we do a kickoff event here in Troy, okay. And that is next Tuesday, the 31st. So, and that is actually from 5:30 to 7:30. And then we'll go to Birmingham, and then we'll go to Montgomery and Dothan We go to Pensacola, Fort Walton, and also to Greenville.
To Greenville.
Yeah, not necessarily in that order.
Not in that order, but
yes,
but
all those stops.
All those stops, and
yes.
anyone is interested in finding out where their stop is and information about their individual locations, what can they do to find out about their individual locations?
Go to TroyTrojans.com, and there's a tab that says Trojan Tour, and it has all the events, times, places, and dates on there right there. They can RSVP. So, or if they have any questions, my contact information's on there too. So they can reach me at my office.
And now we're talking about the Trojan Tour, taking the coaches and the staff to the fans, but what exactly takes place at one of these events? If someone's out there is interested in saying, you know, I'd like to check it out, what can they expect if they show up at one of these?
We serve, depending on the event, we'll do lunch or dinner, so they'll have a meal and then they'll listen. It's emceed by Barry McKnight, and we have our coaches speak as well as our athletic director, and there's also time for questions. If anybody has any questions about, you know, upcoming season, the games, you know, season ticket prices, they can ask those as well too.
And of course, you keep mentioning their season ticket holders, and that's some of the areas, but this is not just for season ticket holders. This is open to any Trojan fans out there that want to take a part in this.
Yes, all Troy supporters, as well as alumni.
And alumni. And so I guess kind of the goal of this event is you're getting the information out there, getting them prepared for the fall sports.
Yes.
But what kind of coaches, I guess, you mentioned fall sports, but what coaches can they expect to hear from at each of these events?
Coaches vary depending on their schedule, but we'll always have Coach Brown at all the events, as well as Jeremy McLean, our AD, as well as, it just depends. We'll have a basketball coach, a football coach, soccer.
Okay. So a lot of the sports out there, that especially the fall sports coming up, that to get people really eager to check things out. And obviously, you know, you've got coaches have busy schedules, so you can't get them all there. But I know it's going to probably got a lot of folks excited to have Coach Brown coming to town, especially with football season. It seems like it's getting closer every day, and obviously it is getting closer every day. But it gives a chance to hear from Coach Brown and kind of the direction the program's going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now, also with that, you said Jeremy McLean will be there. So I'm guessing that at each of these events, they may get a chance to kind of get a state of the state of Trojan athletics at these events.
Yes.
And so now, if you've got an opportunity to tell the folks here, you know, at the events about Trojan athletics, but you know, if they can't make one of these events, there's obviously opportunities to get involved and help out and be a part of Trojan athletics. How can they figure out, how can they be a part of it? How can they find information to do stuff? And what ways can they get involved outside of going to one of these events?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would direct everybody to our website and to our ticket page. Season tickets are now on sale for football, as well as away games will go on sale soon, as well as single game tickets. So our big focus is supporting the 2016-17 football season.
So looking forward to getting folks involved in a part of that. And also that same website, they can find out information about all the individual dates for the Trojan Tour?
Yes.
Okay.
They're listed on there as well.
And they can find out whether or not the times and the prices vary, whether it's a morning or an evening event,
so
correct?
Lunch is $5 and dinner is $10, and children under 12 are free. So.
Okay, so opportunity to take the family out, have a relatively inexpensive meal, and learn a little bit about Trojan athletics out there. So here's hoping that folks out in the area can make it to the Trojan Tour, check things out, and if they can't make it to the tour, make it here in the fall to have a little bit of fun with the Trojan athletics. So good luck with this year's Trojan Tour, and thanks for joining me today. Thank you. And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened on the first week of June 2016. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune in to Troy Trojan Vision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Thursday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy Trojan Vision News fan page on Facebook. We hope to see you again next week for another edition of Troy Trojan Vision Weekly. Have a good week.